Anthony Joshua gets caught out clout chasing again. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Remstar Says So. Wow, it's been a very long time since I've made my last video. But yes, as the title of this video states, Anthony Joshua is chasing clout again. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. Now, I ain't made a video in a while, so I hope you guys have been paying attention to the boxing news. But I don't know if you noticed, but Anthony Joshua stated that he was going to go to camp to help Tyson Fury fight Deontay Wilder and prepare for that. Now, most of you guys know that this fight is about 3 weeks away, and Tyson Fury has already said that Anthony Joshua has not shown up. He was just saying that to try and stay relevant. The reason why Anthony Joshua needs to continuously talk about the likes of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is because Anthony Joshua has just come off the worst year of his life. That was a 2019 to forget. Let's take a walk down memory lane, guys. Anthony Joshua got knocked out and quit by Andy Ruiz Jr. with 4 knockdowns. Then he spat his gum shield out and quit and retired in the corner in absolute pathetic fashion against Andy Ruiz, a late replacement for Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Andy Ruiz took that fight with 5 weeks notice, went in there and opened a can of whoop ass, as Stone Cold Steve Austin would say. It was absolutely pathetic. I literally laughed my head off during that entire fight, June 1. Then we had the rematch in December. And what did he do? He jabbed, he ran. He jabbed, he ran. It was a complete and utter snooze fest. Let's not forget that Anthony Joshua once criticized Tyson Fury for doing the exact same thing to Vladimir Klitschko. And what did he do? He implemented Tyson Fury's game plan and put it out to perfection. Jab, run, jab, run, jab, run, jab, run. But this is where the cherry starts to get put onto the cake. Now, Eddie Hearn for the last week or two has been saying that to make the Wilder and Fury fights, it's going to have to be 50-50. Eddie Hearn has sort of acknowledged the money that's there. He's acknowledged how Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury have both managed to rise, rose, whatever it is, their profiles, and how they're fighting on pay-per-view now and making a lot more money. Eddie Hearn has said himself that this fight is going to have to be 50-50, or he knows he's never going to get it made. So what does he do? He's like, yep, we'll make a 50-50 offer to the winner. And then after that, Anthony Joshua's now come out on IFL or whatever other BS interview platform it was and said, oh, if I'm going to take the fight, I want at least 70%. 70% my back foot. Let's be honest, yeah? The winner of Fury versus Wilder is the #1 heavyweight, has the WBC title, the most prestigious belt going. He also has the lineal title, and he will be the ring heavyweight champion. So once again, the ring and lineal heavyweight championship belts will once again be unified again. Those are the 3 most important belts in comparison to AJ, who's got the WBA Super, the WBO, which a lot of people don't even give a shit about, and the IBF. I'm not going to count the IBO because it's not a world championship belt. They've never called for a mandatory, and AJ's been champion on and off for 4 years. So let's just be honest. He's got 3 belts, but the belts and the titles that he holds are definitely less prestigious than what Wilder holds. It's well known that the WBC, out of all the name brand championship belts, is supposedly the most prestigious belt. That is the belt that everybody wants. The likes of Muhammad Ali, the likes of Floyd Mayweather sort of put the WBC as like the pinnacle trophy. The same with Lennox Lewis. Everybody wanted to be WBC champion. Lennox Lewis supposedly runs around calling himself undisputed and had never held the WBO title, even though it was made a mainstream world championship in 96, and Lennox Lewis was supposedly undisputed in like 97 and 98. So that just shows you how little the WBO has been sort of rated throughout the boxing world. So yeah, Anthony Joshua, he's just mentioning Wilder and Fury just to stay relevant. After he had a snooze fest and got battered by Ruiz, he now finds himself in a position where he's got 2 mandatories. This is what irritates me the most about AJ. He only ever mentions Wilder's name when Wilder's busy. He knows that Wilder's got a 2-fight deal with Fury, and if he comes through those fights, he then has a mandatory with Dillian Whyte. Why are you calling out a guy who's busy? Everybody knows that Deontay Wilder only fights twice a year. So you know that Deontay Wilder is busy for the next 18 months. On top of that, AJ's got 2 mandatories himself. He's got Kubrat Pulev for the IBF title, and he's got Alexander Usyk for the WBO. And before you know it, the WBA will probably call for a mandatory as well. Why don't you just shut the fuck up and go and do your fights? On top of that, it looks like he might be gearing himself up to lose. Gearing himself up to drop the IBF title. From what I've been hearing, there's been a big sort of site fee bid coming, supposedly from Turkey, to go and take that fight. And Eddie Hearn was talking about this earlier, last week, I think, where he mentioned that, you know, AJ wants to fight in the UK, but there's no money in the UK. The UK market for heavyweight boxing is dead now. Since AJ went on his travels and Tyson Fury's been on his travels, and, you know, Wilder's built up a bigger profile, nobody really cares. Like, let's be honest, yeah? Who really gives a shit about Wembley? Unless you have floor seats, you're going to be sat in the stands watching a massive screen because of that big fuck off canopy umbrella thing that they put over the ring. You're not going to be able to see any of the action anyway. So what is the point paying 40, 50, 60 quid to stand in the stands and watch a fight that you're not going to be able to see it? You might as well stay at home and buy the pay-per-view for £20. Like, that's my thing. I don't care about stadium fights. Me personally, I'd rather him just went back to the O2 and just charged double or triple the prices. I'd rather go and pay, like, you know, 80 or 100, 120 pounds to go and watch a fight at the O2, where at least I know I'm going to get good seats. Like, what am I doing, like, going to Wembley Stadium to watch a big massive screen with no commentary? Like, I know people like to talk about soaking up the atmosphere, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, back to all this clout chasing. Like, it doesn't make sense. You haven't even done your deal with Kubrat Pulev yet. Eddie Hearn's talking about, oh, if we can't get the deal we want, we might drop the IBF. Well, yeah, you go drop the IBF, but let's not forget, Kubrat Pulev will most likely fight Adam Kalinowski, and I would favour Kalinowski to win that fight. And if he wins, that's another belt going back to the PBC. You already lost 3 of your belts to the PBC, and, you know, you put together a good game plan to get those belts back. But do you really want Al Heyman having more control? Because what Al Heyman will do is he'll make Kalinowski and Deontay Wilder unify those belts, and I know who my money would be on to win that fight. But, you know, AJ can just keep chasing clout. I'll be honest, he has no interest, absolutely no interest in fighting Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. If you look at what happened to him in the first fight against Ruiz, Deontay Wilder would literally break his jaw, spin his head top, and probably send him into a coma. And if he fought Tyson Fury would just outbox him and win on a wide scorecard, maybe even 120 in like every round. You see what I mean? Like, so for me, AJ, he's just chasing clout. What he needs to do is just worry about himself. He's got 2 mandatories, take care of them. And then, you know, after, if Wilder comes through the 2 fights with Fury, he'll go and knock out Dillian Whyte with ease, and then they might be looking at a fight towards the back end of 2021. But, like, stop talking about Wilder now. It's not possible. You've got 2 mandatories. He's got a 2-fight deal and then a mandatory. Deontay Wilder is busy for the next 18 months. So you go worry about yourself. You go fight Pulev. You go fight Usyk. You go fight Dillian Whyte again. Do whatever you need to do, but stop mentioning Wilder and Fury. Fury gave you an open invitation to come and spar, and you was too much of a pussy to show up. AJ is a waste man. Any of you guys who still think that AJ could beat Wilder or Fury, you men are just lying to yourselves. Anyway, that's the end of my rants. It's nice to be back, and that's the end of the show, because Remstar says so.